kind of got a little upset with the butler and the baker. So, or the king, he's a pharaoh.
And Pastor, where are you reading from?
Genesis chapter 40. He got upset with him, and so when he did, he told them they had to go to prison. So they went to jail, the butler and the baker. And so when he did, they were in the custody of the captain of the guard in the prison, and the place where Joseph was confined. They was in the same place Joseph was in. So they had been thrown in because the word Pharaoh and the word king are the same thing. When you hear see Pharaoh in Egypt, that's the same as you saying the king in some other place. They're the same word and same title. So then the butler and the baker, they had a dream that night. Each man had their own dream, and in the dream, they didn't understand it. So it says it had its own interpretation. Joseph came in to them in the morning. He looked at them, and he saw that they were sad. So he asked Pharaoh's officers who were with him in the custody of his Lord's house, he asked them the next morning, he said, "Why do you look so sad today?" He said, "What's the problem? You're looking sad. I need to know what the problem is." So they said, "We each have dreamed a dream, and there is no interpreter of it." Joseph said, "Do not interpretations belong to God?" That's what he wanted to know. He asked a question. It was I believe, a rhetorical question, but he still asked the question. So he just said, "Tell me the dream." When we dream, a lot of times we dream a dream at night, we wake up, we just pretty much sometimes write it off. It was a dream. And we don't try to ask nobody no questions about it. It was just a dream. No matter how bad the dream was, how scary the dream may have been, or anything like that, we just dreamed the dream. And we just left it like that. But these here people, back then, they believed in dreams. And dreams had meaning. And they still do. Dreams still have meaning. The thing is, we don't have people that can interpret dreams for us like that we just run to. So if we want a dream interpreted for us, we just ask God. He'll eventually give us the answer. If he don't give it to us right then when we do ask. Mm-hmm. But he give us the answer to the dream. Because we have dreams that it really do have you all day long wondering, what did that mean? Why was that part in the dream? All these type of questions. So that's what these men did. They did the same thing. So they said, Joseph said, "Do not interpretations belong to God." Meaning God is the one that interprets all dreams. He knows the meaning of them, so all you have to do is ask him. So he said, "Tell me the dream." So he knew he was a dream interpreter. He knew he belonged to God, so God could give him the answer to the dream. So verse 9 said, Then the chief butler told his dream to Joseph, said to him, "Behold, in my dream, a vine was before me. And in the vine were 3 branches. It was as though it budded. Its blossoms shot forth, and its clusters brought forth ripe grapes. Then Pharaoh's cup was in my hand. I took the grapes, pressed them into Pharaoh's cup, and placed the cup in Pharaoh's hand. Joseph said to him, This is the interpretation of it." All right, so he dreamed a dream. He told him, all right, 3 branches was in the dream. There was a vine, and there were 3 branches. And the blossoms that shot forth from it, it brought forth grapes. He got the grapes, he pressed the grapes together, and inside the cup, and he placed the cup in Pharaoh's hand so Pharaoh could drink it. He said, "This is the interpretation of your dream. The 3 branches off the vine are 3 days." He said 3 days. Within those 3 days, Pharaoh said, he will lift up your head and restore you to your place. And you will put Pharaoh's cup in his hand according to the former manner when you were his butler. In other words, he get his job back. But he said he's going to lift his head up because right now he's in a down position. He's sad. He's not happy because he felt like he didn't do nothing, but the king thought he did, so he's mad at him. So he's down. So his head is hanging low. So he's in prison and all that. He gave the dream. He had a dream. Joseph interpreted the dream. He said, he will lift up your head. He will restore you as you were before. But I need you to do one thing. When you get back in front of the king, I need you to do one thing. He said, remember me when it is well with you, and please show kindness to me.
Mm.
Make mention of me to Pharaoh and get me out of this house.
Mm.
He said, for indeed I was stolen away from the land of the Hebrews, and also I have done nothing here that they should put me into this dungeon. He said, I need you to remember me. I want you to remember me when I get to, when you get up there, so I can get out of here, because I was stolen away to start with, and I shouldn't even be in this dungeon.
Mm.
But, so I need you to remember to tell Pharaoh that I'm in here, so you can get me out of here. All right. Now he goes to the next one. He says in verse 16, he says, when the chief baker saw that the interpretation was good, he said to Joseph, now so he feeling kind of good right now, because he said, oh, he had a good response.
He had a good one.
So I can tell him mine, so I'm going to give him a good response too.
Yeah.
So that's good. So he kind of happy about it. He said, I also was in my dream, and there I had 3 white baskets on my head.
Mm.
In the uppermost basket, there were all kinds of baked goods for Pharaoh, and the birds ate them out of the basket on my head. So Joseph answered and said, this is the interpretation of it. 3 baskets.
Mm-hmm.
He said all kind of baked goods was on top of it. The birds came in and ate off of it. He said the 3 baskets, that's 3 days.
Mm.
He said within 3 days, Pharaoh will lift off your head from you and hang you on a tree.
My Lord.
He says, the birds will eat your flesh on the 3rd day.
Mm.
Now it came to pass on the 3rd day, which was Pharaoh's birthday, that he made a feast for all his servants. And he lifted up the head of the chief butler, lifted him up, and of the chief baker among his servants. Then he restored the chief butler to his butlership again, and he placed the cup in Pharaoh's hand.
Yeah.
But he hanged the chief baker, as Joseph had interpreted to them. Yet the chief butler did not remember Joseph. He forgot it.
In 3 days.
So he lifted up the chief butler's head, but he lifted off the chief baker's head, because he hung him on the tree.
Mm.
So they both had a head issue. One was a good one and one was a bad one.
My Lord.
And then he said, but on his birthday, that's how he did that. But he said the chief butler, when he got the way he was, he forgot. When you got where you were before and got back in your position, you forget who got you there.
Lord Jesus.
You forget that there was somebody to help you get to
Somebody.
that place, and then they forget about you. I don't know that it happened to anybody at all, but sometimes it just happens that way, that when people get to a certain spot, they do not remember who has helped them to get where they are.
And
Not that you have to do a whole lot for somebody. You know, you just remember that, you know, somebody did something for you, just tell them thank you. You know, you ain't got to buy no cake, and you ain't got to do all that big old elaborate stuff. Just say, tell them thank you. I got back where I am, and because I did, I just want to come by and tell you what, you know, what I'm doing. Yes, ma'am.
And when I thought about Joseph, even when he had told the butler and the baker their interpretations and everything, he was in both times in a dungeon, like. So he was in the pit, the hole with his brother.
Yeah, he was down here,
due to jealousy. Then he's now in another pit, really,
The dungeon is low,
due to desire of someone else.
Somebody lying on him, yep.
Someone lying on him. So he was in both places when he said, I wasn't supposed to be here. I'm innocent. He was innocent because of his dreams. And now God is his dream telling. He told his brothers the vision. And now here he is again, still using that same gift to save someone else, but he's still in a pit situation.
The dream got him in the pit with his brother, telling his dream. All right. Now, being able to interpret dreams is going to get him out of the dungeon.
Yes.
Yeah, so God used those things to get him out of there, in and out, to get him where he needed to be, because as we keep going through the lesson, we'll find out that it was a good thing for the family. All right, chapter 41. He said, then it came to pass at the end of 2 full years that Pharaoh had a dream. Now, you got to understand now, that Joseph still a young kid. He's just a teenager when he ended up in Egypt.
Right.
He wasn't 20 years old yet. We do believe that if you can do the math correctly, he was around about 17 years old when he ended up over here in Egypt. But he says after 2 years, now he done told the butler, his dream, interpreted his dream, and told him what's going to happen, and he ended up coming out. He have not thought about Joseph in 2 years.
2 years.
2 years have passed by. He ain't told the king nothing about this young man that helped me, but God know what he's doing. So, but he ain't told nothing about this man that helped me interpret my dream until 2 years now. He's getting ready to come up. Pharaoh had a dream, and behold, he stood by the river. Suddenly, there came up out of the river 7 cows, fine looking and fat. And I know what that looked like, because we done seen fine looking fat cows before.
Yes.
And they fed in the meadows. Then behold, 7 other cows came up after them out of the river, ugly and gaunt. And I've seen that before too.
Yes.
You've seen the cow, you see their backbone, their rib cage, all that. I've seen those.
Terrible sight.
So you got 7 good cows, fat cows, 7 ugly, according to what my Bible says, gaunt looking cows. They skinny. They don't have nothing on, no meat. You couldn't eat them jokers for nothing. they also came and stood by the other cows on the bank of the river. And the ugly and gaunt cows ate up the 7 fine looking fat cows. Now that right there was strange to start with, because cows don't eat meat.
My goodness.
But they ate the other 7 cows. If y'all ever thought of that. They ate the other cows. And it says, when he saw in the dream, he saw that Pharaoh woke up. He woke up and he slept. Again, he went back to sleep. You know how you wake up and then you go back to sleep later? He went back to sleep. He dreamed a second dream. And suddenly 7 heads of grain came up on one stalk.
My Lord.
Plump and good. They were good, fine grain stalks.
Yeah.
Behold, he says, 7 thin heads blighted by the east wind sprang up. You ever seen them things that come up in the stalks? It's barely anything on them. They brown looking, and they don't have a whole lot of grain in them. That's what this is looking like. They look real bad looking. But the other one that's real good looking, they green. They plump with grain on the heads of them. All that was the good one. But the ugly one, the blighted one, they came up, sprang up out of them, and the 7 thin heads devoured the 7 plump. That's another thing that's strange, because grain don't eat. They take in moisture from the ground.
Right.
But they don't have a mouth to eat nothing. So it said they had 4 heads, and they devoured all of the 4 plump ones. So Pharaoh again woke up, and indeed it was a dream.
My Lord.
It came to pass in the morning that his spirit was troubled. So this happened sometime during the night. So he went on to stay asleep, I guess, the rest of the night. And then in the morning, though, his spirit was troubled.
Yeah.
He sent and called for all the magicians of Egypt and all his wise men, and Pharaoh told them his dream, but there was no one who could interpret them for Pharaoh. Who else, if you remember reading the books of the Bible, who else at one time had a dream and he called for all the magicians and all the people to try to come and interpret that dream? What book of the Bible they did that in? It was something dealing with a man in a den. A lion's den. Daniel. Yeah. One of Nebuchadnezzar had a dream as well. And then also Belshazzar, he saw something and he needed somebody to explain something to him. But here, Pharaoh, he called for the magician because he needed them to explain to him this dream. But there was no one who could interpret them for him. So the chief butler, he spoke to Pharaoh. 2 years have passed now. And now it comes up. 2 years. But he said, the chief butler spoke to Pharaoh saying, I remember my fault. He said, this day, he said, today, it come back to my memory. I remember when I was thrown in prison. He said, when you was angry with me, he says, and you put me in custody in the house of the captain of the guard. He said, both me and the baker. He said, I remember this. We each dreamed a dream in one night. He and I. He said, each of us dreamed according to the interpretation of his own dream.
Uh-huh.
And he telling the Pharaoh that this is what happened. We had a dream because you got mad and you threw us in jail. So he said, there was a young Hebrew boy there, a Hebrew man, with us there, a servant of the captain of the guard.
Yes.
We told him, and he interpreted our dreams for us. To each man he interpreted according to his own dream. Verse 13 says, it came to pass, just as he interpreted for us, so it happened.
Yes.
He said it happened. He restored me to my office, and he hanged him. So he remembered what, after 2 years, he said that all of a sudden it just started coming back to his memory about these dream things. And he told Pharaoh about, I remember what happened back then. 2 years ago, I was in jail. Because you threw me because you got upset with me and the baker, and all that took place. Now, when I was in there, I dreamed a dream, and then that young Hebrew boy, he interpreted our dream for us. So Pharaoh said in verse 14, he called for Joseph, and they brought him hastily out of the dungeon.
Thank
He
you, Lord.
shaved, changed his clothes,
Yeah.
and he came to Pharaoh. Because he'd been there for a while. More likely he got all that Hebrew hair on him. You know, it's long and all. So they shaved him up real good and changed his dungeon clothes to a nice clothing attire, rather, to stand before the king.
My Lord.
So now he's looking like a person again, a real person, versus just looking like he just run down in the prison.
Yes.
Pharaoh said to Joseph, I have dreamed a dream. Now he just jumped right in. He ain't said, how you doing, who you are, nothing. He just jumped right into the thing. Because he worried about, this dream is on his mind. Now, I need the answer. I ain't worried about who you are. I'll find out that later. He said, I have dreamed a dream, and there is no one who can interpret it, but I have heard it said of you that you can't understand a dream to interpret it. Joseph answered Pharaoh saying, it is not in me. He said, it ain't in me. He said, God will give Pharaoh an answer of peace. He said, God gonna give you this answer.
Yes.
It's not in me to do it.
Yeah.
Because you gotta understand, just like as we know now, everything comes from God.
It comes from God.
Joseph knew that.
Yeah.
Even the interpretation of the dream, he knew that came from God.
Yeah.
So if he was gonna give the answer to Pharaoh, he knew God had to give it to him first.
Yes.
So he said, God will give Pharaoh the answer, not me. So Pharaoh said to Joseph, behold, in my dream I stood on the bank of the river. Suddenly 7 cows came up out of the river, fine looking and fat. They fed in the meadows. Behold, 7 other cows came up out of them, ugly and gone. So he went through the whole story.
Right.
And he said he woke up and he dreamed the dream again. Suddenly he said 7 heads came a stalk, full and good. They came up. They 7 heads withered and thin. They blighted by the east wind sprang up out of them, and the head devoured the 7 good heads. So I told this to the magician, but there was no one who could explain it to me. Verse 25 said, Joseph said to Pharaoh, because he done went through it and told her, I don't want to repeat the whole thing because you would have read it.
Right.
So he told Pharaoh the whole dream again. Pharaoh told him the dream. Joseph says in verse 25, the dreams of Pharaoh are one dream. You dream 2, but the interpretation is 1. He said, God has shown Pharaoh what he is about to do. The 7 good cows are 7 years. And the 7 good heads are 7 years. The dreams are 1 dream. And the 7 thin and ugly cows, which came up after them in 7 years, and the 7 empty heads blighted by the east wind are 7 years of famine. So you have 7 good years, 7 bad years. This is the thing which I have spoken to Pharaoh. God has shown Pharaoh what he is about to do. Through a dream and the interpretation of the dream, God is telling Pharaoh what's getting ready to happen. Now, he showed this to a person that did not believe in him.
Right.
God showed this dream to a person that didn't believe in him at all.
Right.
But he had somebody in the house that did.
Yeah.
And somebody in the house was able to tell the one that didn't believe in him that the true God,
True
that is
God.
the one that we believe in, he'll give you the answer to the dream.
Yeah.
And this is the answer to your dream. This
Yes.
is what the dream means. You're going to have 7 good years, and you have 7 bad years of famine. So 29 says, indeed, 7 years of great plenty will come throughout all the land of Egypt. Verse 30, but after them 7 years of famine will arise, and all the plenty will be forgotten in the land of Egypt, and the famine will deplete the land.
My Lord.
So the plenty will not be known in the land because of the famine following it, for it will be very severe. Meaning, you're gonna have 7 good years, and if you don't pay attention, those 7 years gonna be gone, and the 7 years gonna be right, other bad years gonna be right behind it. You're gonna forget about all the 7 good years because the next 7 years gonna be so bad you're gonna forget all about it. You don't think nothing of it. You're gonna forget that there was some good grass, some good cows, good feeding, good eating, all the good that you had those 7 years. You're gonna forget all about it because those 7 bad years are coming right behind it. We've been like that before. We had some good times.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, when something bad happens, you ain't thinking about that no more because something bad has took its place.
Done took
and
the
you
place.
can't seem to get your mind set on the good times again because the bad has taken over.
Yes.
It don't matter what it is in life. It could be anything, and it'll take over. Because you can't get your head wrapped around something that's good because of the bad they have taken. You got something? Yeah.
I have a question then. If God can, do you believe that God actually allows us today to see something or feel something before it actually happens?
Yeah, he had changed. I'm the same today, yesterday, and forever.
But what makes it different from Joseph knowing that? In other words, how can we know today that we can still have that gift and that still can be done? Because he showed Joseph.
Can you have a gift like the men in the Bible?
Yeah, because he showed Joseph that way that he could do that. How can we know
that you have a gift like that?
That we have that kind of gift.
Only you know if you had a gift like that. The person, I'm not you, I'm saying the person. The only person knows they got that gift like that. Or a gift that God had. Because a lot of the stuff in the Bible that they have.
Because he said he give us gifts.
We all have a gift.
Yeah.
Right? We all have a gift. Some of us don't know what our gift is because if you hadn't been close enough, get close enough to God and spend time with you, don't know what your gift is. But we all have a gift. Now, we have different things that God has given us. The thing is, if you spend time, as I said earlier, you spend time with Him, and you find out what that gift is.
He'll show that to you.
He'll show you what it is that you can do when the time comes for it to come out. So yes, we have, because like I said, he doesn't change. He hadn't changed. He won't change. So if He showed this to these men in the Bible, He can do the same thing for us. But He did say when disciples came out, He said you all will do greater things.
He did.
So they're going to do more than what He did when He was on earth, what they're saying, what He said. The prophets came, they did what they did, and then the disciples came, they did what they did. So now here we are. Can we not do some of the same thing? Well, we should be able to do that.
So that was the answer when you said we have to stay close to Him.
Yeah, you get it from the Maker, from the Creator. He's the one that put it in you, in us, so we're able to get it from Him. And He can bring it out of us as the time is needed. So, all right, question answer. All right. Verse 32. And the dream was repeated to Pharaoh twice because the thing is established by God. And God will shortly bring it to pass. I'm going to point that out. When God says something twice, He's establishing it.
Yeah.
All right. If you read in the New Testament, He would say, verily, verily, which is also translated truly, truly.
Truly, truly.
He's getting your attention. I need you to pay attention to what I'm getting ready to say. That's what when He says something twice, He's getting your attention. It's kind of like when we get ready to say something to somebody. If I just start talking, you might not get no attention. But if I call your name, I got your attention. Now you get what I'm saying. So, verily, verily, or with this dream thing, He did it 2 times to get Pharaoh's attention and let him know this thing has been established. It's going to happen.
Yes.
So he just needed somebody to tell him what it means. So that's here. He says it has been established.
That's good.
Now, therefore, he said, let Pharaoh select. Now, Joseph is now giving him advice. He's giving him a suggestion or advice to tell him, this is what you need to do. You need to go, it's already established. This thing coming, no matter how you want to accept it or not, it's going to happen. So I need you now to figure out who you want to put in place to handle this. So he says, let Pharaoh select a discerning and wise man and set him over the land of Egypt. Let Pharaoh do this and let him appoint officers over the land to collect 1/5 of the produce of the land of Egypt in the 7 plentiful years. And let them gather all the food of those good years that are coming and store up grain under the authority of Pharaoh, and let them keep food in all or in the cities. Then that food shall be a reserve for the land for the 7 years of famine, which shall be in the land of Egypt, that the land may not perish during the famine. He done told him, you need to find a man that you can set over this thing while we have these 7 good years. He said, I need you to, now I don't think Pharaoh asked this question.
He didn't.
He just come out and told him, this is what you need to do. So that the people can live and not die. This is what you need to do. You need to go ahead and grab somebody that appoint somebody over the land that can collect, he says, 1/5 of the produce of the land of Egypt. So grab a certain amount of the produce that they take it in. You take that amount and you store it up. Put it in the silo. Y'all know what silos are, right? Y'all remember them back in the day? If y'all ever been living on a farm, the big old silver thing, they still got them around. The big old silver containers. And anyway, you put them in the silos. I don't know what they had back then, but I'm just assuming that's kind of what they did. Store up the grain in the silos and put them in there. And as you do that, gather all the food of those good years that are coming, store them up, store the grain under the authority of Pharaoh, and let them keep food in the city. Then he said that food is going to be a reserve for the 7 bad years. So when the bad years come, then he can put it out to the people that they come to get it. They'll ration the food out for all those 7 years. So that he says that the land may not perish during the famine. So Pharaoh saw the advice was good in the eyes of Pharaoh.
Yes.
And in the eyes of all his servants. Pharaoh said to his servants, can we find such a one as this?
My
a man
Lord.
in whom is the Spirit of God.
My Lord.
He said, can we find such a man? And he done gave him that advice. He's standing right there in front of us. Can we find such a man? He's looking around. That's verse 37, or 38. But you get to verse 39, and Pharaoh said to Joseph, inasmuch as God has shown you all this, there is no one as discerning and wise as you.
My Lord.
Sound like he about to be promoted. That's what I'm saying.
You have been promoted.
He said in verse 40, so now just look now, at the beginning of chapter 40, he was in jail.
Yes.
At the beginning of chapter 41, he was still in jail.
Yes.
Before we even got to
2
verse
years.
15, 16, Joseph was already out of jail, interpreted a dream, and then head in verse 40, he about to be promoted over this whole land.
My Lord.
So verse 40 says, you shall be over my house. He told Joseph, you shall be over. Now, remember, when he was still over there, he was in Potiphar's house. Potiphar saw that he had no issue with him. So he put him over there and didn't have to worry about nothing in his house.
He did.
He trusted him.
He did.
He got to prison. And the captain of the guard saw how he was. He put him in charge over there.
Yes, he did.
He been moving up ever since.
He had.
And so then when he got over here to Pharaoh's house, and he interpreted the dream and then gave him wise counsel, now he's being promoted again.
Lord have mercy.
And then when he moved up this time, let's see what he get to. He says, verse 40, you shall be over my house, and all my people shall be ruled according to your word. Only in regard to the throne will I be greater than you.
My
word,
Lord.
Second in command.
My Lord.
You got the king, and you got Joseph.
My Lord.
That's the way that's how high he got promoted, from the dungeon to the second in command. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, see, I have set you over all the land of Egypt. Then Pharaoh took his signet ring off his hand, put it on Joseph's hand, and he clothed him in garments of fine linen and put a gold chain around his neck.
My Lord.
He had him ride in the second chariot, which he had. That's why I said second in command, which he had, and they cried out before him, bow the knee.
My
So he
Lord.
set him over all the land of Egypt. Pharaoh also said to Joseph, I am Pharaoh, and without your consent, no man may lift his hand or foot in all the land of Egypt. Pharaoh called Joseph's name Zephnath-Paneah,
My Lord.
and he gave him as a wife. Now, he stayed there 2 years, so now he's in his 20s. He changed his name. He gave him an Egyptian name, and then he gave him a wife. She was somewhere in waiting, apparently. He gave him as a wife. Her name was Asenath, the daughter of not Potiphar now, but Potiphar, who was the priest of On. So Joseph went out over all the land of Egypt. How old was he now? I said in his 20s. It says here he was 30 years old. So he was in jail for a long period of time.
Yes, he was.
And he came out after 2 years. So 28, he was in there for 28. 2 years passed. He was 30. Now he's 30 years old. Coming out of the prison and going to be second in command at age 30. He stood before Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and Joseph went out from the presence of Pharaoh and went throughout all the land of Egypt. Now, verse 47. Any questions?
I love that just to hear about Joseph because it reminds you of what 2 Peter said. 2 Peter 5 and 10. It said, but the God of all grace, who have called us unto his eternal glory by Jesus Christ. After that, he had suffered. Joseph had suffered. He said, but after that ye have suffered a while, he will make you perfect, establish you, and strengthen and settle you. And that's exactly what he did to Joseph. After he had suffered from his brother's hand, in prison, but as he was going through it all, as you said earlier, he was being promoted all the way up. And after a while, after he had suffered, and that's the same with us. After we have suffered some things for a while, God himself will come. He'll settle us. He will establish us, and he will give us peace after we stayed with him and suffer.
That's right.
I love that.
Amen.
Amen.
Now, in the 7 plentiful years, the ground brought forth abundantly. Verse 48. So he gathered up all the food of the 7 years which were in the land of Egypt, laid on the food in the cities. Now he had all the cities he was in. Now he had to put food in each one of those cities.
Yes, he did.
As he told him what to do. So he did all of that. He put them up in each one of those cities. And he laid up in every city the food of the fields which surrounded them. Joseph gathered very much grain and the sand of the sea until he stopped counting, for it was without number. He had that much food that he had stored. He didn't even count it no more. He just stored it up.
Wow.
And to Joseph were born 2 sons before the